So we don't focus on anything in particular with our gaze, letting the eyes soften even if the eyelids are open. And your hands can be at your sides or on your lap, whatever feels comfortable for you today. Knowing that from the perspective of mindfulness, there isn't a right and a wrong way. There's just postures that support and minimize distraction, support concentration. So like folding our arms or folding our legs might create pinches that will move our attention away from our anchor. So that's all that's about. And with that, I invite you to take a couple of deep breaths in through the nose, deep and comfortable, and out through the mouth with a sigh. And doing that a couple of times to help you arrive. Let you notice that you're here. And there will be moments of silence, and that's to allow you some time to take in the prompt I'm offering, to practice with it for a bit, see what your mind does with it. Maybe the mind's going to wander and you're going to have to bring it back. When you feel ready, begin to notice any physical sensations of actually feeling supported. So you might feel supported by the chair that you're in, or if your feet are touching the ground. So note any and all areas of your body that feel supported. If you are sitting in a chair, you might notice what you think or what your mind immediately goes to as feeling supported are those areas where it's making contact with a surface, whether it's the armrest or the back of the chair, or the seat of the chair. The feet on the ground. You might want to contrast that to what sort of sensations are on the front of the body. So you might feel a little more pressure at the pressure points, at the points of contact on the back of the body. And on the front, there might be a whole new set of sensations happening. Maybe a softness. Maybe the temperature is different than in the back. But the front of the body is also making contact with your clothing. So there might be areas where the clothing is a little looser, areas where the clothing is a little more fitted. Areas that are exposed so you can actually feel the air in the room. So you might notice the temperature as well as some soft sensations on the surface of the skin. So I invite you to direct your attention to the bottom of your feet. If they're elevated from the ground, just letting them hang loose. If they're making contact with the floor, noticing that. Bringing attention to where your hands are. Are they touching the legs? Are they touching each other? If you can't really sense the feelings at the feet or at the hands, that's okay. I invite you to either press the feet into the floor a little bit or run your hands slowly against your legs or against each other to notice the sensations, to bring awareness from the mind to what the hands feel like, what the feet feel like. Oftentimes, the feet and the hands are relatively neutral, so we offer them as areas that you can actually feel pretty clearly. But if there's another area in the body that feels neutral, that you can access right now, that feels better, you can use that. And whichever one you use, recognize that they're all equally good. So that's going to be your focal anchor for this period of practice. So when I say bring your attention back to the contact point, it'll be this area. So open yourself up to the sensations that are in this area. So there might be movement either on the surface or inside the feet or the hands. You might feel, again, clothing, pressure points. And every 5 seconds or so, you can use the label feel to help enhance the experience of the sensation. It also helps bring the attention back to the focal point. That is, I'm noting what it feels like in my hands, what it feels like in my feet. And you can use the label either audibly, you can say them out loud, or softly to yourself, or just in your mind. Just want to maintain a soft, matter of fact tone with yourself. Feel. Feel. So noticing any pressure or temperature or dampness, movement or vibration, tingling, throbbing, prickling, fluttering. Doing your best to open up to whatever you're experiencing at the contact point. So while we can label it, I just gave you a bunch of categories. The aim is for you to have the fullness of the felt sense of the contact. Feel. Feel. You might notice that the mind's going to wander off from that contact point, and that's part of the concentration practice of bringing it back to the contact point, helping the mind train to return again and again to where you want it to be. As gently as you can, recognize that that's actually a big part of the practice is that returning, and guide your attention back to the contact point. If at any point the feeling sense at that contact point becomes very faint or imperceptible, you lose contact with that physical sensation, you can press your feet into the ground a little bit and release. Press your hands on your legs or squeeze them together and let go. This will help enliven the sensations in that area and bring the mind's interest back to that area, at least for a little bit. Feel, feel, feel. Notice where the mind is in this next moment. Has it wandered off? Is it still with the physical sensations at the contact point? If it has wandered off, you can just choose to direct it back to the hands or the feet. Doing your best not to get caught up in any of the stories or the details of the mind wandering, only recognizing that the mind wanders. That's what it does. And when we practice in this way, we have built its strength and concentration as we sense into the flavors of the physical sensations and all the ways that it shows up. We build our sensory clarity. And when we approach the mind wandering and the contact, concentration, and sensory clarity all being part of the experience, start creating an openness within ourselves, a willingness to be with whatever might come up for us, whether it's a challenge, whether it's going our way. Everything that we are experiencing during the practice and bring us back to cultivating those skills. None of it is wasteful. The most challenging parts might be the ones that create the breakthroughs. So maybe even holding a little bit of gratitude for yourself that you're taking the time to practice in this way. From here, I invite you to widen your attention to your whole body and notice if anything has shifted at all. Is the body more relaxed or more agitated? Is it sleepy or alert or something in between? How's the mind doing? Does it feel more focused or more distracted? Is it calmer or more anxious? Are there any emotions or feelings coming up right now? So you may be feeling a shift from when we first started, but you may not. All things are possible. So if you'd like to continue practicing this way, please feel free. Continuing with the contact point practice using that label of feel. But if you'd like to shift the practice just for a brief moment to reflect on your sweetness, you're welcome to do so by thinking of a sweet moment that you've experienced recently or one that might take you all the way back to your childhood or toddlerhood. When you were a baby, you probably met every single smile that you received from another person with a smile. You were that open and generous. It just sort of poured through you. So you can go all the way back then to touch into your own sweetness and do your best to, once you find an experience, to feel into it, to see it as vividly as you can in your mind's eye, and begin to notice what it feels like in your body to mentally relive it. So, note all the qualities that you're experiencing. If those start to soften and fade away, you can bring back the memory and notice again what sort of feelings, sensations come up. Where do you feel it in your body? Where do you feel your sweetness? Maybe you can smile to your sweetness and give yourself some physical support by holding your own hand or stroking the back of your hand gently, cradling your face or holding your hands to your heart, whatever feels like it would give you physical support. You can say to yourself some affirmations like, may my sweetness be a lighthouse to my true self. May my sweetness be a light unto others that they may feel safe, feel seen. May my sweetness always lead me back to the most authentic part of every moment. So noticing what that feels like to hold those intentions, to touch into your own sweetness. We can recognize that even though we practice as individuals, we hone these skills for our own benefit. And of course, we get personal benefit from them, that those benefits ripple out to all those who we come into contact with in maybe our greater patience and increased kindness, greater generosity in our actions, words, and thoughts towards others. And the benefits continue to ripple out. Recognizing you could have done an infinite number of activities today, that you dedicating this time is for your own well-being as well as all your colleagues and loved ones that you come into contact with on a daily basis. So giving yourself a little bit of gratitude could be as simple as, thank you, me, for hanging out with me. Now taking a deep breath in the same way we began to close out this practice period. And exhaling, becoming aware of the space that you're in, your posture, taking a stretch in whatever way feels comfortable right now, having maintained that posture for over 20 minutes. Opening your eyes if they were closed. Just want to thank you all for joining today. I look forward to spending time with you next Monday.
Hi, Vivian. Thank you very much. Everybody, thank you very much for attending Mindfulness Monday. We really appreciate it. If you need flex, I know it's about that time of year, make sure you come and see me afterwards so I can take your name, okay? All right. Join us next Monday. Thank you very much. Vivian, thank you very much. Sorry about the mix up.
No worries.
So, all right.
Take care.
Have a great day. Bye.